You are Black in the Green Room with me, your host, Keith Underwood, and this is your spot for real talk about entertainment with entertainers, creatives, and showbiz professionals. My guests today are the showrunners, executive producers, and stars of the hit Bounce TV series Johnson, Deji LaRay, and Thomas Q. Jones. Fellas, welcome to the room.
What's up, Keith? Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here. What's up? How you guys doing?
Great. Doing great. Happy
Good.
to be here.
It's
Good,
a
good.
good day. You know, we're less than almost 24 hours out from season 4 premiering on Bounce tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, man. So we're getting excited.
All
Yes.
right. Looking forward to it. Let me get to know you guys a little bit. Deji, you really started out as a teen actor. I mean, with like Once Upon a Time When We Were Colored and New York Undercover. What would Deji now go back and tell your younger you about the entertainment industry?
Be patient. Be patient, I think, is the biggest advice. I think be patient, continue to sharpen your craft, study the game, understand that everybody's journey is going to be different. I think too often, you know, in this business, creatives compare themselves to other people. It's like, well, I started before this person, and this person, is doing this, and this, and I'm still, I'm still at this quote unquote level. And I think that's the complete wrong way to look at it, man. I think you have to, in a sense, be satisfied with the level that you're at, but always want more. You know, I tell actors all the time, you know, when people ask me for advice on acting, I'm like, look, are you doing theater? Do you love to act, or do you love what you feel like acting is going to bring, which is, you know, fans, I guess, money, that kind of thing? Cool. All that's cool, if that's what you're looking for. But for me, the passion is the actual work.
Mm.
Or you can be passionate about the work. The more, let's just say I'm doing a play in Decatur. I feel like that's success for me, doing the play, connecting with the audience, and having that feeling when I walk off the play that off the stage that I just crushed it. That is the best feeling. To me, in all honesty, I think it's the same feeling as having the show premiere tomorrow or having a movie that's out in the theaters, because for me, it's all about the performance. It's not about everything that comes with it or the hype or anything like that. It's about the true work. So I would just tell my younger self to be patient and just stay focused and just focus on the work.
Yeah. Thomas, for you, you had a long and successful career in the NFL. What are some of the plays to success in entertainment for you, your journey?
My journey from the NFL prepped me for this for sure. The NFL obviously is a different world, different sport, so to speak. But there's similarities to Hollywood. It's very competitive. You have to be very mentally tough to be successful. You have to have patience. You have to have discipline. You have to be able to be a good team player. And those are all the things that was able to, transfer, so to speak, from the NFL to Hollywood. And, regarding my younger self, because this wasn't a dream of mine. This was something that I tried out, honestly, because I just really didn't have anything else that I wanted to do. And then I fell in love with it. And now it's become a dream. I would just say do it for the right reasons. You know, I love acting. Acting, I say a lot. It changed my life and helped me evolve from being a football player for so many years in my life. And I'm forever grateful to acting. I'm forever grateful to my acting coaches, to all of my scene partners, to every script I've read, because it's helped me transform into the man that I am today. So do it for the right reasons. You know, to be able to connect with someone like Deji and become producing partners with him in 2017, and go on this 7-year journey where now we have a series that's 4 seasons in, that audiences enjoy, audiences are moved by, audiences cheer for. That was not in my bingo card, on my bingo card, so as they say. But it's been one of the most incredible journeys in my life, and with more to come. So I would just say do it for the right reasons.
For both of you guys, what about with your both of you have pretty impressive resumes. What at this point, what are you most proud of before Johnson?
Right.
What am I most proud of before Johnson? That's a great question. I think for me, it's not one particular project. I think Johnson is a accumulation of all the work that's been put in. I'm an actor. I direct as well. I'm an editor as well. I write. I do all of these things. And years ago, my manager would tell me, "Don't tell anybody that you do all of these things. Don't show
Mm,
up to set saying you're a writer. Don't show up to set and say you're an editor because people wouldn't take you seriously. In one aspect of the industry, you got to just say that this is what you do. And I think now times have changed to where if you don't do multiple things, you're considered lazy.
mm,
And so I think I'm very proud of the fact that I've continued on that path of doing all of these different things because it's helped so much. It helps in a way that, when we're in post-production, on Johnson, um, we're able to speak the language with the editors. We're able to communicate to get what we need effectively. We're able to understand pacing in the edit. We're able to understand how to really truly tell a story, how to save shots, how to have reveals, what's the most impactful way to get into a scene, get out of a scene. It really helps. It helps on the writing aspect, on the post-production. It helps as a director, the fact that I'm an actor to be able to communicate with the actors. Thomas and I talk about this all the time. We feel like all directors should take acting classes, should stay in acting classes to be able to communicate with all the actors on set, because all the actors are different and they always have different needs. So if you don't know the language, if you don't know how to bring that emotion out of them, then you're doing yourself a disservice as a director and you're doing the project a disservice. So what I'm most proud of prior to Johnson, to answer your question, is the fact that I just sort of stayed the course and worked on all of these different versions of myself, all of these different talents that I've been blessed with, to the point to where I feel like I can do them all on a very high level. And I think it's prepared myself for anything in this industry, but it's also prepared my partnership with Thomas and our production company, Midnight Train Productions, to tackle some amazing projects in the future.
yeah. What about for you, Thomas?
I think I'm the most proud of actually making it in the business, because it's very, very hard to transition from being a former athlete into being someone respected in something else, especially something that is not stereotypical. I think if I would have become a commentator or sports analyst, I think that would have been expected.
Mm,
Uh, but to become, a showrunner, an executive producer, um, an actor that people recognize and respect, that's what I'm most proud of because that's very, very difficult. Usually people put you in a box. Initially when I started acting, it was, oh, he's this Thomas Jones trying to act, or oh, I saw you had a cameo appearance in this project, and that just motivated me more to change their mindset as no, that's Thomas Q. Jones, the actor. Oh, that used to play football versus a football player trying to act. And I think I've finally been able to accomplish that. So that's the one thing that I'm the most proud of.
yeah, I love that. What's unique about the two of you coming together to do Johnson?
Hmm. Uh, I guess from the beginning, you had a football player and an editor. You know, you have a former NFL player and a big time editor for commercials and TV shows and movies that link up. And 7 years later, you have Because I mean, that is not expected whatsoever. You know, nobody, you couldn't, no one could tell me that was going to happen. I'm pretty sure no one could tell Deji that this was going to happen either. And then 7 years later, you have now two showrunners, two executive producers, two actors, one creator, one director, one editor, one former NFL player. I mean, you know, it went from us being recognized as one thing to multiple things simultaneously. I think that's the unique thing that I kind of see in how Deji and I met, and how our not just brotherhood, but also our careers have evolved in that time span.
Yeah. What about for you, Deji?
Yeah, I think there's a certain level of you gotta have relationships in this building, in this business. You have to, depend on people who have already sort of succeeded to sort of give you an opportunity to help you, along, to give you advice. And, we do that. We're very grateful for Cedric the Entertainer and Eric Rowan,
Mm.
Burton the Bear, who championed this show, saw value in this show. But I
Shout
think
out to St. Louis.
shout out to St. Louis for sure. But I
Yes.
think at the core, when you strip all of that away, at the core, I think Thomas and I have very similar drives when it comes to, our work ethic. And we have a mentality, I think, that's very different, which is, we're not waiting for anybody. We're not waiting for anybody because we're not expecting anything from anybody, because nobody owes you anything in this business. And we understand that. We understand that simple concept that, if this is something that you want to do, why would you put your career and your path and your future accomplishments in somebody else's hands? So I think we kind of set out early on with a more sort of self-motivated drive. For example, the pilot episode, I wanted to produce the pilot episode. I came to Thomas, wanted him as an actor. He shared the same sort of perspective about what the show could be in the future. He said, "Nah, I'm not gonna just be an actor on this project. I want to produce this with you."
Mm.
Like, that's gonna cost money, right?
Right.
Pilot gonna be expensive, and
Right. You can't just show up and say you a
yeah.
producer.
Look, hey, it costs to be the boss, right? So
Right.
Thomas, Thomas wrote a check.
Okay. Go, Thomas.
Thomas wrote a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, he paid for half the budget for the pilot episode, which people don't do that in this industry. People don't believe that hard. People say oftentimes that they believe, but there are a lot of sacrifices that really come from that. And he proved to me in that moment that he was willing to do whatever I was willing to do to make this happen. And so I think that's what sort of sets us apart is, we're going to get it done regardless. We're going to get it done.
Yeah, Thomas, as an ex-professional athlete, an actor with a bachelor's degree in psychology, why was it important for you to start a production company?
I was tired of being told no, to be
Mm.
honest. And also I was tired of being auditioned for stereotypical black male roles. I'm multiple things in my life. I've accomplished multiple things in my life. I'm not just one thing. And what I realized in Hollywood is that sometimes as black men, we're seen as very monolithic, and we can only be one thing or play one character. And eventually, when you continuously play these characters and there's no nuance or no explanation of why these characters are the way they are, in my mind, you start to become a part of the problem
Right.
with the messaging and the narrative regarding black men. So this project was a breath of fresh air for me, because I literally had just finished playing, a character that was in the streets and, up to no good on a major network. And it was a great character because there was nuance there. It was specific. It was the most nuanced character that I had played up until that point. But this show gave me the opportunity to play myself. Just Thomas every day gets up. He's happy. He's watches, MTV classic music videos. He gets a bowl of cereal. He goes to the gym. He calls his mom. He, you know, goes to the gym and, goes about his day. And at the end of the day, he comes home and, he goes to bed. I had a chance to play that guy, the
Yes.
majority of Black men, that are out here in the world. And I couldn't pass up a chance um, to be a producer on this project and be obligated and feel the responsibility to tell this story, especially when Deji and I connected. And like he said, I realized he's got the same drive I have. He's got the same ambition, and he's got the patience to wait it out like me, because most people don't. Most people don't have the patience. They want it right now. So if you can find someone that has the patience and also has the work ethic and the discipline to chase the dream, you can't pass up that opportunity to work with him. And that's what it was with me and Deji.
Nice. Deji, Johnson is based on your original real life friend group. How similar are the actors that are playing the roles to your friends?
That's man, I would say one is extremely similar. One is like a spitting image, and he knows it. He calls me every so often.
Where you made him in a man. You got to tell me who the he is.
Okay. So the Keith character is inspired off of a friend of mine. His name is Will. And I've known him for 20, 25 years. Went to college together. He's a photographer. Just kind of formulating ideas for these characters, and you're looking around like who's in your circle and who's interesting. And he's an incredible guy, has the biggest heart, and he's funny. And we used to have super long conversations, just giving him advice, and he would give me advice as well. But when the show would air and certain things would happen with the Keith character, since he knows that, this sort of was loosely inspired by him, he would call me sometimes like, yo, really? For real? Like, that's what we're doing now. Uh, so it's pretty interesting. And then, I have a couple of other friends. The Greg character was sort of loosely inspired by a good friend of mine who's kind of more of like a hustler, a guy who had a bunch of odd jobs. He's just sort of a grinder. He gets it by any means necessary, but he never sort of worked a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just kind of taking these sort of characteristics and formulating these characters. And it's been fun. And then of course it's TV, so you want to sort of embellish a little bit. You have this entertainment factor to it. So definitely got to make sure it's entertaining.
Yeah. And then how similar are the actors that are playing the roles to your actual friends?
I would say the closest one is Keith to Will. The other characters aren't exactly that close. I think one of my other friends, he's a little more reserved and quiet. So that's what I mean about sort of the embellishment. You might change certain aspects of it, but you can take other things as well. I think those make the best kind of TV shows, because those characters are going to be very, very honest, based on your experience, and you never run out of content. When it's based on people's lives, you never run out of content. So that's why I feel like this show could go many, 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 many more seasons.
Yeah. What have the two of you learned about collaborating with other Black creatives from Johnson?
It's powerful. It's powerful. When we come together and put our minds together and our talents together, there's literally nothing we can't accomplish. A show like Johnson, you've never really seen a TV series like this ever. You've seen a few movies, maybe, The Brothers or The Wood, projects like that, but those are kind of like, just one-off films. But an actual series that goes 4 seasons of telling honest, vulnerable Black men's stories, just never seen that. And so part of that is because you have multiple Black men coming together, sharing their same experiences in a safe space, whether it's the actors, whether it's the Black male directors, the Black men that are part of the crew. All of us collectively, the energy between each department, I think has kind of guided this show in the direction that it's gone in. and made it the successful show that it is.
Yeah. For either one of you, what kind of response are you getting from like real life male friend groups? What kind of response are you getting?
Man, I would say this. I would say season one was great. Season one was great. The response was great. I think people were surprised to see a show like this come out because, like Thomas said, it's just not common to see this. They were surprised to see us sort of touch on the topics that we touch on, and how honest and authentic it felt. But I can say over the course of season 2, 3, and 4, it has grown tremendously. It's a huge difference from not 4, I'm sorry, season 3, 4 is coming out, but seasons 2 and 3, it has grown, tremendously. It's like the amount of engagement, the amount of personal comments about people talking about how this show has inspired them. I've had people send me messages saying how this show has literally saved their life using those
Mm.
words. And it might not have been literal. It could have been more so inspiring them to move in a different direction or try something different or patch things up with, a family member, or focus on their mental health. Something that they saw was important to their livelihood. This show inspired them to, look at from a different perspective. So I think that's how we measure success. It's not the quantity, but the quality. And I think, the Johnson fans are so diehard, paragraphs of messages. And we went out to Essence Fest a few weeks back and we were able to mix and mingle with a lot of the fans, and the love was huge, huge. So yeah, the engagement is real high, and I think there's a huge appetite and excitement for tomorrow night, season 4.
Yes, absolutely. What's the most anticipated thing about season 4 that you've been hearing that people are like, hey, what happened with this character or this character or this situation? What are people really anxious to see in season 4?
I think they're anxious to see how things evolve from the finale episode. I know Omar was going through some challenges mentally and emotionally with his family, and I know Keith, had proposed to his girlfriend Jackie. Jarvis was having some issues, with his father, and Greg is still trying to figure it out, what he's gonna do. So I think the audience, this show is a mashup of issues. As soon as there's one resolution and another obstacle pops up for each of these guys, and that's real life. That's what happens. And life is nothing but a cycle of obstacles and resolutions. Obstacles, resolutions. That's what it is. And so I think they're looking forward to seeing what happens, from the finale episode of last season, but also what's next for them.
Yeah. I'm really guilty of what's going on with Omar, right? Where I'm a nice guy. I put up with a lot of mess. And Omar's based on you, right, Deji?
Omar is not. Omar is not based on me personally. You know, I wouldn't say any of the characters are personally based on me personally, but Omar is, the character obviously that Thomas plays.
Yes. And like I said, I'm so similar to the fact I'm a nice guy, the whole bit. And then I blow up. you know. So, what's how do you feel, about that with the character? And that's for either one of you with the character. And then when are we going to see Thomas start to we've already seen him advocate for himself in a big way. But when are we going to see him advocate for himself more in his everyday life?
I mean, Omar's very black and white, and he's trying to find the gray area in life. At some point, you have to find the gray to find that peace of mind. And I think that's what we've seen with Omar, since season 1. He was in, therapy season 1, anger management. He took the necessary steps to find the gray. And I think he's gradually doing that in each season. You're starting to see a different side of Omar. You know, from season 1 until season 4, you're going to see a drastically different version of him, and it's because of the work that he's put in. You know, it's the anger management, it's the therapy, it's the having the conversations with his friends. It's being accountable for his mistakes. You know, and I think that's real life. I think people can relate to that in real life. So Omar is an forever evolving character, just like the rest of the guys.
Yeah. And for you, Deji, with Greg, you know, are we really gonna see him get his act together in season 4? Or, you know, is Greg gonna continue to be mercurial?
Oh man, I think Greg represents so many people who never quite uh found their passion maybe until later. You know, everybody's on a different time system. It's like some things happen for people faster, and some things take a little bit long for other people. You
Mhm.
know, everybody doesn't know what they want to do early on. They're not passionate about certain things until they're hit with that inspiration. And I think Greg definitely is hit with inspiration in season 4. So you will start to see a different Greg. You will start to see a more responsible Greg, a more committed Greg, a more focused Greg, and a Greg that becomes passionate about several different
Mhm.
things. And I think that's going to be a breath of fresh air for people, is to see that sort of character arc and see that character finally starting to come around to what we all want him to be, you know? So yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. And you guys are both showrunners and producers, executive producers on the show. So you had some say so over which roles that you would play. What made you gravitate to each one of your characters?
Well, you know, with the other two actors, these are people who I've known for years. They didn't audition for these roles. You know, when I was creating the characters, I was eyeing certain people. And so I was looking at Philip Smithy and I was looking at Derek Brady, and like, yeah, you know, I think he'll be right for this, he'll be right for this. And so the casting process for them happened early on without them even knowing it. Just being around, being in projects together, just their energy and essences, just trying to make sure that all of these characters were different. And they were two guys that I looked at. And then this was another character with Omar that I know that this show needed. And came across Thomas. We were connected by a mutual friend. I knew of Thomas already. I knew of his work as an actor. I actually knew more. I knew about Thomas with the NFL, obviously, but I knew more about Thomas as an actor when we met. And that says a lot because, first of all, I study the entertainment industry. I study the game. I study who's doing what. And
Mhm.
I was very impressed with what he was able to accomplish in a short period of time. So I knew like we'd be very fortunate to have him on board. It became an EP. But yeah, I guess you know, I know I'm getting off track. The question,
You're good.
yeah. What was the question?
No, I was asking, like, you guys, you're both EPs and you're both showrunners. So I know you had some say over which characters you played. What
Played, yeah,
made you gravitate towards each one
yeah,
of the
yeah.
roles?
So then, you know, Thomas jumped on board for Omar, and I already had the other guys in mind. And I knew that this was a character with Greg that I wanted to portray, very opposite of myself. In real life, I'm very ambitious, you know, Greg isn't. So, you know, I think it was fun, you know, everybody getting to play a version of themselves to a certain extent on set every day.
Yeah. What about for you, Thomas?
This character was perfect for me. I'm an entrepreneur in real life. You know, I had to, you know, I had to find motivation to evolve when I retired from the NFL, just because, you know, the NFL is a very one-dimensional world, and outside of producing on the field, there's no real character developing moments there besides, you know, um, continuing to play hard to win a football game. You know, I mean, I guess that helps you in life. You know, it makes you more. You have to be more disciplined and more mentally tough. But it's all within the world of football, where acting opens you up totally different perspectives from totally different people with totally different experiences. And this Omar character, I felt like this character had a lot of the characteristics that I was trying to not necessarily get rid of, but I guess kind of evolve from. And so
Mm.
I've evolved with this Omar character over the last 4 seasons in real life as well, which is
Wow.
pretty
That's pretty amazing. Are there any other future collaborations and works with the two of you? Come
Yeah,
on now, come on now, Deji.
the short answer and the long answer is yes, absolutely. We're actually on set right now, not right this second, but we're in the middle of production for another project that's going to be coming out in March of 2025. So we can't say the name of it yet. We can't say where it's going to be airing, but we will make sure that we reach back out, man, so we can have a conversation with you about that project as well. So we're very excited about the future for us, for Midnight Train. In addition to that project, we have other projects in various stages of pre-production, development, et cetera. So yes, we're going to be coming with a follow-up after Johnson, completely different show, completely different type of show, genre, everything. So just going to show a little bit of how versatile we can be.
Love that, love that. And what's happening with you guys individually in your careers?
I mean,
Next.
this is it. I'm working on this project right now that we're producing. I'm also filming P-Valley season 3 at the same time. And so fortunately we're producing this project, in Atlanta. So I'm able to work with both projects. But my plate is full with Midnight Train Productions content. I'm excited about what we've been able to do with Johnson. I'm excited about the new series that we're producing now and the future. Like Deji said, the future is bright. We put the work in and then now it's starting to pay off. So excited about Midnight Train Productions and working with Deji.
All right, fellas, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Thomas Q. Jones.
What
And
about you,
same
Deji?
thing for me. Yeah, just my name. And Keith, I just want to say, man, we need shows like this, but we also need journalists like yourself.
Oh, wow. Thank you,
We also
man.
need journalists like yourself. And we need audiences that support shows like this and audiences that support journalists like yourself. We all have to work together. And we're very happy to sit here and talk to you about the show. We're doing a deep dive. I love the conversation. This is what it's all about for us, personally. And we got to support you the same way that you support us. And the audiences has to know how important it is, because you take away one of these pieces and the car doesn't run. You know what I mean? So we got to create the content, and then it's up to you to get the word out. And we truly appreciate you, being a part of the press for Johnson. We truly appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate those kind words, and the sentiment is sent right back to the two of you. Thank you both so much for joining me on Black in the Green Room. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, take care now.
Bye-bye.
Be sure to follow me, Keith Underwood, at Mr. Keith L. Underwood on IG. You can also follow me on FB at Keith L. Underwood. And you gotta follow Black in the Green Room at Black in the Green Room across all platforms. Until next time, this has been Black in the Green Room.